Hello, I'm Ross Compton III, and today I'll be discussing predictive and prescriptive models in analytics and their use in the business world and IT. But first, let's begin with, where did it all begin? The quest for how to use the vast sums of data every large business collects in some meaningful manner has been around since the first ways to record data existed. Descriptive analytics was the first major way to turn raw data into useful information, though it was still limited to only really being able to provide details about the data and categorize it. Predictive models allowed users to use past data as well as current data to provide a tangible edge in business for the first time by giving a reasonably accurate way to predict many different business needs, such as inventory requirements. Prescriptive models are the latest along this line of innovation and use the predictions of predictive models and user-defined limiting and valuation factors to provide immediate and tangible uses for data in determining the best course of action for a business in real time. What are predictive and prescriptive models? Predictive models use various stores of historical and current data, statistical formulas, and data mining techniques to detect past trends and then make projections on the future shape of the market or subject based off of these trends at a given point in time. In the diagram to the right, we can see the steps a predictive model takes when used in order to provide the best results consistently. Prescriptive models take the next step from predictive modeling, providing recommendations to the user as to how to respond to the predictions of the model after weighing the effects of each possible course of action. As a result, prescriptive models require a few additional components to the predictive model, such as categories for business rules, algorithms, machine learning, and computational modeling procedures. These can effectively be categorized into two groups: actionable data, which it uses to create the various courses of action, and a feedback system, which is used to evaluate the outcomes of every given course of action and determine effectively which is the best. The model can take into account trade-offs between matters such as speed or cost, and limitations in available resources, as well as legal or ethical regulations of a firm in order to optimize a strategy for the company based off of probable predictions. Mathematical explanation of the differences between predictive and prescriptive analytics can be seen here. Predictive models allow us to find what the variable in question will most likely be at another point in time, based off of the conditions found in the data, whereas in the bottom graphic, prescriptive models can be used to find which conditions or actions are necessary to achieve a desired state in the variable, given the predicted trends from the predictive model, so as best how to influence it effectively. What can one learn with the two models? Essentially, with prescriptive models, we can answer more questions than we could with just predictive modeling. As we can see on the graph, we can make decisions so that we can benefit from the knowledge offered by the predictions and ascertain some of the effects of our actions that our actions will have in those scenarios. The advantages of prescriptive models in being able to answer the above questions over a few questions that predictive models can provide or can answer is clear. Key elements of predictive analytics. The principal foundations of predictive analytics are data, statistical models, and simulations. Predictive models use these to find patterns in order to identify current and future risks and opportunities. Purposes of predictive modeling. Predictive models use current and historical data to generate probable future occurrences and outcomes of various environmental situations. This provides businesses with a better idea of what to expect and allows them to react accordingly. Some common examples and uses of predictive analytics. Predictive analytics can be used in almost any industry to provide valuable information for any number of subjects. Not all of these systems are equitably accurate. Credit scores, for example, can often be misleading or downright inaccurate, depending on the data available and its relevancy. On the other hand, one of Netflix's specialties is knowing what its customers will want and not just what they want to see now. And they have become a household name because of their accuracy in stocking the right movies for all niches. Determining which customers need to be retained in order to avoid going to competition, what debts will never be collected, and the investment risks are just a few of the many other uses of predictive modeling, which can be seen in the table to the right. Risks and limitations of predictive models. A predictive model, no matter how great, can still create inaccurate predictions. This can be due to a lack of seemingly irrelevant data or simply unexpected changes around the globe. Anything from an unpredicted volcanic eruption to a sudden revolution in a foreign country, or any number of possible causes. Thus, it is important to remember that predictive models only provide information on the probable future, but not necessarily what will happen. In a mixed blessing, more organizations than ever are realizing the potential value of predictive modeling and trying to find new ways to use big data. Unfortunately, this sudden rush to utilize the technology in new ways means that there is some discrepancy in planned benefit of the new systems and the actual immediate effectiveness. The technology itself is only as useful as the user, and it can take time to determine how to best use these systems for every situation. As we can see, there's an extra step when it comes to getting profit from predictive modeling. Key aspects of prescriptive analytics. The main aspects of predictive analytics are decision analysis and optimization, transactional profiling, and predictive modeling. Predictive models provide quick options to solve real-time issues or opportunities, as well as make plans for the near future. Purpose of prescriptive analytics. Prescriptive models seek to provide actionable options and plans for businesses in response to a variety of topics based off of the various scenarios predicted from provided historical data regarding the most probable future occurrences. Such actions can cause increased flexibility to changes in the market, operational cost reduction, more efficient utilization of resources and personnel, and more effective risk management based off of likely changes in the market. Common examples of prescriptive analytics The healthcare industry uses prescriptive models to ascertain which patients are most likely going to need extra treatment, monitoring, or are at greater risk of further or other health complications, and determine what should be done now in order to help the patient avoid such issues. How oil companies determine their prices and production for the upcoming years, another such example. And perhaps we're most familiar with Netflix's personalized film and show suggestions. Yet another example of prescriptive modeling at work. Limitations of prescriptive modeling. There are many limiting factors for prescriptive modeling to be considered. The most important of these is that it simply cannot take into consideration all the possible factors that influence the real world, and thus, while its accuracy can be increased with more and more diverse data, it will never be able to predict with 100% certainty what will happen, rather than just the most probable from its calculations. Some questions for discussion. Are there any predictive modeling that should not be used by companies or even governments? Do you think that more companies should be developing their own prescriptive models, or do you think that they should abstain as they can cause more harm than good? Lastly, do you think prescriptive analytics is the next step in the use of IT in business, or will it remain more of a subset of predictive modeling? Here is a list of the references I used.